you had to rescind it.
That makes sense, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so are we good?
Well,
Well, the question wasn't about sending and then amending and then reaccepting. It was about whether or not by that 3/5 vote, you're actually able to rescind it. Am I right? That's where the original question started. We have to know that before we can even move forward with what you want to do.
Well, I guess then we're just gonna sit here?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
Then I can, if we don't do that, then I contend at this point, we do not have a code officer. We do not have, we're up in the air about this.
well, I mean, in regards to the code, the appointments have been made.
We are not comfortable.
Those appointments are in resolution 2.
Right, we haven't got there, we're not.
Oh, okay.
One,
Okay,
What was
okay.
one?
I'm sorry?
What was it?
Resolution 1
Designations?
designates newspaper, meeting night, work session, organizational meetings, procurement policy, cell phone policy, sexual harassment policy.
actually,
And you're rescinding that.
just,
We want to rescind it, adopt something, and then come back.
You can't tell us what you want to adopt.
It's number one,
We have-
both of
yes,
them are number one.
Yeah, we have to rescind it first, so we can, we haven't rescinded it, then I cannot mention what we're uncomfortable with, and then we'll come back and.
can I at least just, you keep saying we, who's we? Because in all these conversations and
We,
the letter.
okay, I'm not comfortable, I do not feel that trustee Bradley is comfortable with, or trustee Gunther.
Okay, well, I'm just,
Right.
my thought, I was never asked
Right.
about this,
Right.
and so I didn't want to be included in.
Right, but
we.
I'm just, well, that's what we're going to discuss.
Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
So you guys are having meetings without Daniel and Tom, is that what you guys are?
We
No.
just in passing conversation, ma'am.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Like Nikki said, when we came in for the organizational meeting, everything was filled in. In the past, when we've come in, there were blanks. We sat down and we filled it in. This time around, Dan had filled everything in.
Well, I thought that last time when you guys were going through, Dan had asked you guys like, who would be over the police department, he said he would, and who would go
No,
over
yeah,
the.
that was us. That
Okay.
wasn't, this gentleman was filled in as attorney. That wasn't that the other gentleman was filled in as code enforcement officer.
Okay,
That wasn't that we've operated here for probably, I wish Eric had not left, maybe Rose could tell me. We have operated here for the past several years without a second meeting per month.
Yes,
Correct. We've
yes, it's
gotten
been a
all
number
our
of
work
years since
done,
there have been work
one meeting
sessions.
per month.
but that was because you guys are having a second meeting per month, so that you guys can get the bills on time, so they're not late.
It's,
They can be
we signed the vouchers at the monthly board meeting, and they go out. We've, the last 4 years, Walt, you've been here 4 years?
6.
My sixth.
6 years. You ever had a second meeting for a month? Never, never.
My idea on it would be maybe not to have them permanently fixed.
We need one, we have.
Maybe, if we need something, call a meeting.
But
You know what I mean?
obviously, with all this that's going on, you guys,
Oh, yes.
Nothing's getting done.
nothing's getting done.
Can I just suggest one thing on this? The second meeting month of being a workshop doesn't mean that you have to show up, you can't make motions and resolutions, whatever. It gives the
I
board
understand.
the opportunity to get together and discuss things so that maybe the next meeting isn't.
It's not like
isn't
this.
like
It's
that.
just a forever
We
thing.
have work to do, I'm perfectly willing to show up for that.
Yeah,
But for the past
absolutely.
6 years, we've had everything done. Everything's been done. Eric stood up here and told you what your tax rate was.
Right,
It's
but
always been under 2%.
nothing's going to get
It's
done
always been under 2%.
now.
But we don't, the
Because
public,
there's
okay.
construction is.
So we need to,
Well, we're just working through this stuff.
We're looking
We're
for-
getting through
Good,
it.
we're
I
being
mean,
much
this
more
is,
civil this time.
this is,
we are.
I mean, this
We are.
is
This
only
is-
our second time sitting down as a
Yeah.
group. I mean,
We were
we're
ready
still
to-
The
getting
thing
used
of
to
it
it.
is,
We're
you
ready to
don't
make
look
a-
like a group.
No, we're ready
And I
to,
mean, if
Well,
you-
we're
if-
trying.
I know you
We're
are
trying.
trying. I grant
we're
you
ready
that.
to
Just
make a
not-
resolution
And
that
maybe
says,
I'd like to see everybody
really,
try.
maybe
Okay.
Eric wasn't getting.
I'm
he
ready
didn't
to
know
make a
the book
resolution
that
that
was
says,
supposed to get
since
done.
we only have 5 board members, that we amend from 2/3 to 3/5. because we're splitting hairs over this. The vote is 3-2.
Are we
We're
able,
splitting hairs over everything.
But how,
Right.
why is everything like 2/3, you already know what the vote is, and before it should even be,
We're
okay,
just talking about,
see what I mean, Rick? That's
no,
not,
we meant, I said, motion to rescind resolution 1. We had 3 votes for, 2 votes against. That's where we stand.
so
Now
my
we're saying we need
question,
66%. We don't have 66%.
so my question in regards to this, in regards to the rescind, wanting to review and all that, okay? I don't know what the, in regards to that, don't know what the, I'm trying to understand what the law states in regards to it. So, the board can go ahead and make a motion, which has happened. They made a motion to rescind resolution 1 to to review all that, correct?
We don't need to review. Oh, we want to make an amendment
I'm not
and
gonna
read
leave that quick enough to get a good answer.
I just have, I don't know if it's the same,
That's
probably
what-
yours is probably newer than mine.
Right, we wanted to rescind it, make a motion on one of the tenants, and then we adopt it, and it's passed. That's all we wanted to do. I don't need any discussion on sexual harassment policy, that's already regular investment policy. That's what we wanted to do here.
Okay.
Well, to me, it passed by a majority, so.
Well, it's rescinded by majority.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And I wanna make sure that that's appropriate by law, cause I
Right.
don't understand how any of that works when a resolution has already been passed. To revisit the resolution, that's what I'm making clarity to understand it. That's,
the way I see it, the way I understand it, although it's a point of contention at the moment, who our lawyer is, okay? Why don't we have, Jay? Because as it stands right now, the way I see it is, he's the closest thing, at least, if you wanna say that we have to a lawyer. As long as he's willing to look at
No
this.
offense.
No, I'm not saying you're not a lawyer, but I'm saying as an official representation for us, you're the closest we have the way this paperwork says it so far. Now, assuming that he's willing to do so, why do we not have him, look into what needs to be done?
Because he is one of the things under
Right,
resolution
I
2,
realize
and
that.
if he renders service, then it makes, if we decide to rescind him, it makes it much more difficult.
This is true.
Why don't you just hire him for the event?
I'm sorry, I was told that we had, attorney I spoke to, this is not set in stone, we are the board. We have the right to rescind, this was adopted last time, we have the right to rescind, make amendments, and re-adopt.
But
He
why
said
would
that's
you
an
vote
equal,
one
right?
way 1 week and then
Last,
redo it the next week? I don't get it.
For the designations,
that's why I
I
sent
disagree
a
with
letter
you.
saying that we were uncomfortable when we left. Believe me, our bill, there came a point in that meeting the other night where we almost adjourned. We sat here, we almost adjourned and went home.
maybe you should.
We should,
I
we
think
probably should, at that point.
You said you had
Before tempers.
the lawyer an email about it?
I'm sorry,
You said you had an email from
I'm
him?
not allowed to show it,
Why not?
because it says from this email from a lawyer, and this can be destroyed, blah, blah, blah.
Should there not be
If it's regarding a public forum,
Move to the paperless society. Okay. Okay.
It doesn't seem as if
Okay,
everyone.
here we go. Okay, when it comes time to approve the minutes from the organizational meeting, you need to make the motion that you are intending to rescind and rediscuss some of the motions. They need to be made clear they are approving it subject to rescission. You approve that we would go in and look at this organizational meeting, okay?
Yeah.
So my question in regards to all this, what I don't,
Okay.
what I don't understand is is, so first off, like you guys are concerned with resolution 1.
And resolution
My,
two.
my thing with resolution 1 was, I think my only thing was the work night. But if, I mean, if that's gonna be something that, you know, maybe we don't have to have every month.
That's not a set in stone that everyone needs to show up.
The work
It's set in stone.
session-
If 3 people gather here, then you can talk about village.
Okay.
That's all that.
And I mean, I get that, especially with everything that we have going on.
Especially with
and-
students that are learning, and they can invite people, and they can ask questions, there's no decision making, there's no anything in a work session. No, it can only benefit.
Alright,
So
so
if you don't wanna
everybody,
show,
yeah.
I don't see.
I just got a question.
No, I'm.
I don't always hear correctly, so
Sorry?
let me understand this. You wanna rescind resolution number
I want
one?
to rescind resolution one.
And then what you wanna do is amend it so that it's a 2/3 majority rather than.
I did not,
3/5 rather than.
3/5, we don't have 66, we have 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%.
So what you're doing is all you're doing is loading your gun, really. I mean, once you've done that, you'll rescind everything else. That's what you got. What you're saying right now is, give me the opportunity to change everything.
I don't want to change it.
No, by just changing that, once you change that, it changes the whole dynamics of everything that's been done, and you'll get everything you want. And now
We
you,
can make a resolution.
yeah, but what you're saying is you won't, but what I'm saying is that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna change the game, and you're saying, let me change the game so that I can change all
I
the
want
rules.
to open this for discussion.
Yeah, but then, discussion. Wow, Rick.
No, I
Amazing,
said, I want
absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
it
I
really
want to
is.
open this for discussion. We are just.
Okay,
not-
guys, let's.
Wow.
My-
Just
Wow.
listen,
Wow. No, I'm not either.
we're all getting along and you guys are fighting us now.
Alright, hold
Yeah,
on,
because
everybody
we're
will be
seeing
brought,
what you're
Who's
doing.
the
hold on,
Who's the
everybody will be brought to order.
Whoa.
Alright,
The
this
public
is,
comment section.
hold on, everybody, that's it. Okay, in regards to all this, and yes, it is very heated, however, though, I do not understand for the reason to look into this when we spent an hour and a half going over everything and we clearly talked about it. So why not propose or provide your ideas of what you want to see changed, ideally, and then we can further discuss this as a board and make the appropriate decision without amending and all of this. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Wait, just, is this with a lawyer you have a retainer with?
No.
With your personal lawyer?
No, it was with our
Previous.
previous.
So
Okay,
then did
now-
the previous lawyer bill you for doing that work?
We had, no,
Well, where is he?
it's Ashton, it was our previous village attorney.
Previous bill.
Okay, well, where is?
I'm just trying to work out in my
Where
head
her
where
house
it
with her
applies
kids.
then,
Okay,
because
so-
I wanted
where is
her,
she?
I wanted her.
She's sleeping probably. Holy macaroni.
I wanted her opinion.
Well, in the last 3 years since I've been here, we've never had an attorney.
We don't expect an attorney to sit here every night.
Okay,
I'd
and
like
expect
that.
you guys to go over the rules, you guys never had any questions going over any of
Sure, you
these.
can go.
Not with me, but Nikki has.
Oh, so you would call
You know,
her.
so if there's look for a couple of things.
Years ago, we had, the attorney was right across the
Yeah, because I
street.
looked in 3
He
places.
sat
and I found
here,
I was looking for.
Fred Lyon, he sat here meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, and we might have needed him once out of 11 months.
Mm.
Are you
Okay.
upset?
Yeah, because you know what, when you're dealing with the law, you guys should be asking a lot of questions,
Right.
and you guys should be
Well,
dealing,
But you're-
just like with this man right here.
This
Yeah,
is what,
are you guys not learning a lot from this man sitting here? Tell me you're not, Nikki.
Susie, that's not what we're talking
No,
about
but
right
am
now.
I not?
But
Are
you're,
you
but
not?
you're kind of almost like interfering with this
No.
whole
Okay.
thing up here.
I'm
We're
no,
trying
I'm
to
just
talk.
saying.
But you're,
can I just read off what I was not comfortable, this is what I wanted, this is what we wanted to, in passing, when we left last Wednesday, last Monday, this is what we were not comfortable with. Number one, the second work session per month. I am willing, if necessary, to do that, but I don't think it should be mandatory.
So then if we feel that we do not need to be here, because for publicizing and putting in ads and everything, if we put in there that on the 4th Monday of each month, that we're gonna be here, okay? And then say, come Christmas time, we're not gonna wanna be here during the fourth Monday because of the holidays and everything that's going on, we can just state at the meeting that on the regular meeting, we're not gonna be here. And it's that simple. It doesn't, if we were to every time to say, okay, well, for instance, myself, okay, well then I am requesting a special meeting and we are to attend at this time, then we constantly have to spend money on having it in the papers and posted so that people can attend like they're supposed to.
If you want public input, you've gotta meet more often, so that
Right,
they can.
right. But we, for the last 6 years, we've done more.
Was that really successful? Did you have a lot of public input?
You can't-
No,
Lately, we have.
Why is that?
What?
Why is that?
You tell us.
People are unhappy.
Exactly, so we're here now,
No,
you
I
don't
will
like
be
that
here.
now.
I will be here on the 27th, okay? But if we have no business to discuss, if all of a sudden we all get along and everything, we don't,
Our
I
good hands
don't
running
think we
through
need
the
it.
rainbows.
I'm
We don't need
okay, you didn't want to rescind, so I'm just proposing. The second thing was, there was mention of a vehicle use policy, we need to formulate that together.
Which I believe was part of the goal of the work session.
Right, okay, that is great. We were going to move to rescind resolution number 2. I have always, and first thing there was auditor of claims, we were going to pay one of the board members $500 to sign all the vouchers. I have always been comfortable signing the vouchers, I like to see what comes across the desk. Okay?
My idea with that is if we're worried about it being a distraction during the meeting, maybe we could make it so that we all come in before the meeting, or stay after the meeting. You know what I mean, that way, because.
It's never been a distraction before, you've always got.
Yeah, but we're not focused on working when if we're signing vouchers.
correct. When I was a resident and I was sitting in their seat watching, when somebody would be discussing something, even whether it was the mayor, everybody would just be sitting there passing a whole huge book of boom, 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 and whenever that person got that book, that is strictly what they're focused on. It was never the task at hand of going through any business or any public comment or any of that. And so for you to say that, okay, it doesn't make, you were comfortable with that. However, though, from looking at the public session, or from the public's point of view, it looks like you're disengaged. You're not looking at them when they're speaking. You're not.
Okay, so what if we made it so that everyone come in prior to the meeting?
I'll come in prior to signing, I'd like to see where the money's going.
So in regards to that, though, I can't force everybody to get here early to sign it. I mean, that's on
I
your
mean,
own.
we're responsible enough, I mean, that's part of our,
So what happens then, as the board, what happens then if everybody doesn't come in early enough, okay? So for instance, say, everybody comes in early, but say Tom does not, okay? And so now Tom is gonna be stuck doing the auditing, or doing the invoices and all that, instead of paying attention like
after,
you.
after the meeting.
So then we can approve the abstract at that point in time then. So then the business is left to go. So how do we hold each other accountable? Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. But how do we hold each other accountable in regards to that do you know what I mean? So that we can continue to make sure we're looking at the public, we're focusing with them and all of that. Yes.
Quite often, with previous trustees, even myself, I've come in and everything like that. I used to grab them on a Sunday and take them home on Sunday night, look at them, to be honest with you, on occasion when we were having a lot of issues. And you need a majority to approve the abstract. Not a 100%, So I'm just trying to give you some, offering you some, there were people that came in early, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's people who came, if they weren't gonna be here on vacation,
I came in a
some
few
of them
times
came
when I
in.
could.
So it's been done.
So in regards to that, and I get that, but I'm looking at the past 8 months of history, what I can say, because I'm not gonna go further, because I can only go based on what I know, is that every meeting, the vouchers were being boom, 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 okay? I'm glad that some people may have came in and took care of it early, such as as the previous mayor did, whatever the case may be, but there were some times where there were heated issues, and people would choose to look and ignore anybody in the public and just sign the vouchers. I'm in favor that with Nikki's experience that she has as a banker and that she has a fine eye to look at through everything, I trust her to handle, since she also accepted the position, to review the vouchers, to sign off on it, and then presents an abstract which all the board members are able to look. And as it stated before, if you have an issue or a question in regards to any of the invoices, Rose can pull it at that point in time and can go into greater detail. Instead of signing all however many, I don't know how big that book is, I've never signed one, but I think it looks a little excessive if you ask me, and a waste of our time as trustees. Yes.
One person, and this, three people do need to approve the abstract. One person signs and goes through and makes sure what's on the abstract is true and correct by the voucher. The rest of the board's responsibility is still to go through the abstract before approving it. But one person, the object that I'm guessing was one person to make sure everything's correct for the abstract for the rest of the board to look at.
Basically, dot the i's, cross the t's, whatever, double check,
Okay, but
and then,
everyone is, it's not trying to get less than three people approval for it. When you vote on it, you don't vote for signing the vouchers, you vote for signing the
No,
abstract.
right, I think,
That's all.
I mean, cause
So,
I'm
if
the one
you-
signing, so I mean, I don't have a problem with approving the abstract, I just don't know if these guys, you know, being that,
Well, then they obviously have the right to come in and do it too, but like, if you wanna do it before the meeting and someone doesn't show or whatever, if you don't have that, you can leave it in place and take it not paid, it doesn't matter, I mean, none of it, but as long as if you sign it, then, and it goes to the abstract, that's all.
yes.
Is it legal for a board member to work for the board for payment? For money? Isn't that the board is the person, but the board is supervising itself.
Is there a conflict of interest?
Conflict, yeah.
There are various positions where the board appoints, for example, deputy mayor, that additional compensation is for, and the board is entitled to delegate any of its powers to specific individuals, and they're entitled to create emoluments for those positions as well. That's my understanding. As to whether it creates a specific conflict of interest in that case, I'd have to see the resolution that was brought at last meeting.
I was looking at it from the point that you're ready to remunerate somebody $500 for just signing vouchers. We've always done it. For, you know, it's just, I'm very happy to sign a voucher.
So then, would you not, I mean, if you wanna look at it, then the way the resolution stands now, which is the law, that you're able to come in and you're able to look at the invoices and vouchers all you want. It's just you don't.
Signature?
As I sent out an email to you, all of you, I had a question on this, so here again, I contacted our accounting firm, and it was their recommendation that all the trustees do look at it. If you do want one person to go through, that it not be a board member. That it's an like John said, an outside consultant or somebody else other than a board member. That was their feeling. They've never seen it done anyplace else, as far as a municipality.
Based on what I know from the school as far as auditing, it has to be an external person, has to.
So in regards to the law though, that, from what I've read, is that it does not, you don't have to be outside of the board. You can be a board member, it can be an additional responsibility laid to you. And my thought is that you can actually have a designation for it and say $500 additional to it to compensate for the extra time that the one person will put in regards to handling all of that.
Can I ask a question? What happens if Nikki's not here? I mean,
but
Joy,
Dean, you can't do it?
no.
No.
Joy does a very good job of getting figures to me on Fridays. So all the
Yeah,
vouchers.
she called me on Friday and
Joy
told me that it was
does a
ready.
good job with getting the vouchers done. And I know they've been on the table before, and I know Walt has come in early and signed them, I've seen.
All the time.
So, I
They
mean,
come in
the
really
vouchers
early.
are done before Saturday, almost, before Aren't they correct? Usually have them done on Friday.
Yeah, she hasn't
Because
done it for the
you give
weekend.
me the figures on Friday.
If something comes up on Monday, it's added.
Right.
Yeah, but it's nothing, you have the bulk of it on Friday. I guess I don't.
I'm trying to find in the Nikon book where it
I'm
talks
just-
about audit of
I've
claims.
come to the conclusion that we're gonna leave here tonight just as divided as we came in. It's unfortunate.
No,
No, I think we are. I really think we are.
we're not.
Here we go.
We're not.
Maybe it's because some people can't accept change. I mean, really, the whole enmity is just like palpable. I can feel it in the room the minute you walk in. It's not supposed to be that way.
Should I?
And I'm talking to all of you too, all of you. I just think you're not trying to cooperate. It's like you're just going bang, bang. You look like those stupid billy goats.
Moving on, okay, obviously, we're not settled on, we're gonna have to table this, I think, we really are.
Well,
Moving on from auditor claims, just a question, and this is, no, please, we know you do a wonderful job. It was mentioned earlier, deputy clerk pay was $10.30 an hour. We raised it to $11.25 an hour, but the town pays $10.60. Okay?
In regards
I
to,
would move that, the 95-cent raise was a 9.2% increase. I would move that we pay our deputy clerk the same as the town does.
now in regards to that, because of the minimum wage increase for everything and for what the deputy clerk does and the responsibility, I feel it is much more than what
I
it was
haven't gotten a raise
previously.
in 3 years. Let's put it that way. So, I mean, not everything can fluctuate. I mean, we're trying to pinch pennies here too, but we're given a 9.2% raise.
In regards to matching what do you call it, in regards to what minimum wage went up, I mean, minimum wage went up, what, 75 cents? That's a drastic
I'm gonna
amount.
work for I'm gonna work for the village. Give me a job here. I need a job. And I'll work at the bank too.
I would make a motion that we pay the deputy clerk $10.60 an hour, just like.
Now, that's in resolution 2, in regards to appointments and salaries. Do you know, Jay, can that be changed as well?
I'm not 100%, my general sense is that for a public officer, when it's set at the appointment meeting, that it becomes law for the next year, and if you go back on it, that it can create significant liabilities for the village. I would be very happy to research that issue and give you a proper memorandum of law on it.
Well, I would say, I guess, if it's gonna come back to bite us, then next year there's no raise. It'll stay the same. That, I mean,
That's next year's discussion.
okay, yes, but, okay,
That's why-
never mind,
That's
let
why I
me
was
sign
going,
it.
since it didn't work, I was going to make the motion to rescind resolution 2. Okay? Should we do that? I'm not sure
No,
we
let's
can.
just
Okay.
pass it over.
And then here it
because
comes.
We gotta,
I'm sorry, with all due respect. I myself, I will hear from the other board members here. I myself am perfectly comfortable with Frank Watson. I endorse Frank Watson as code enforcement officer.
I
would like
must-
him to stay.
I must interject that the appointment is already official and that only I myself have the authority to appoint an officer. And I have the authority, only I have the authority to terminate somebody's employment with the village. Granted, it is welcomed, of course, to have the support of the board. So in regards to making a motion to put Frank back at the CEO position, cannot be done. It's against the law.
Then I would move, just for what it's worth, till we find out what the legality is. I move we rescind resolution 2.
You cannot remove the appointment.
We're not removing the appointment, we're rescinding the resolution.
If you're gonna do that, though, that leaves you without a lawyer to research
We
the
are,
issue.
I can have mine research it.
yeah, I move, do I have a second? I move that we rescind resolutions 1 and 2.
Before this goes forward, as far as I'm understanding, this is against the law to do such.
We are exploring, we don't know yet. Do you know, sir?
My understanding, I actually did research that when it came to the 40 position, is that if you call it a rescinding of a motion, that it's going to have the same effect as removing somebody from an appointed office. And it would, because you're giving it a different name, doesn't change what's actually being done. Probably not allowed in terms of powers of Village Board of Trustees members. But I haven't seen it worded that way, and I'd be very happy to research that wording of it to see if somehow it comes up to a different result. But I don't believe that it would. And that's not me trying to advocate one position over the other, because when I came, I did say that I would provide you all with objective advice. Now, if you want to make the motion, just know that if any acts are made using the previous people, if there is no tenure of office that holds over for people who are appointed outside of the few positions that I mentioned, board members, the treasurer, the clerk, and each of those two deputies, that the holdover from the previous office is not applicable for any other public officer that acts as an employee or a regular employee. So having them work off the clock can create very weird liabilities about minimum wage. But if you want to make the motion, absolutely, and you should. It's your duty, it's incumbent on you as an elected official to do what you believe to be correct. But it could create a liability for the village, yes.
I don't understand where it states in the law that it's pretty clear under the sections that were provided in regards to what the powers that be with trustees and mayors, that this can be done. Once an appointed position is done, do you have the law to show that you cannot? So then I would stand that.
Whoa, I'm not. I move that we table this. I'm sorry, sir. I respect you immensely.
No, absolutely.
I respect you immensely. You are a fountain of knowledge. But I was comfortable with the previous counselor, and I'm current or previous counselor. And I'm very comfortable with the current or previous code enforcement officer. So until we get this rectified, I move we
What good does tabling do though?
discuss it again.
However,
Why not
though,
just continue?
however, though,
We don't have the legality.
right.
I mean, we don't have a clarification.
So, just to make it black and white then, is that Mr. France and Mr. Brecker hold the positions that we, the board, unanimously approved, and the resolution was made that day, that night, okay?
But we were very divided that night, we're very
Hold
divided now.
on. In regards to that, how were we divided when we went into executive session, we discussed what we even had in regular board meeting, all the questions that were very detailed. How do you feel after an hour and, hold on, let me finish my question to you. How is it that after an hour and a half of discussion and thinking in regards to everything, in regards to you saw, in regards to my statement that I made at the beginning of this evening, how can your heart change, how can your mind change after having all the facts, and when you yourself, you make the motion for the attorney, and Nikki seconded it, I have to ask, how do you have the...
I went home that night, I didn't sleep at all, and I changed my mind. I do not know Mr. Brecker, I am very comfortable with that gentleman up there. As far as the other attorney is concerned, she was a student of mine who I'm very proud of, and I'm very satisfied with the legal advice she gives.
Unfortunately, though, it was a unanimous vote. We can't change the fact that you had a change of heart later on.
But we have,
It's not an official.
I was informed that we have the power to rescind
Through,
an attorney.
correct, our previous and or current attorney.
Our-
Now,
Let me clarify, our current attorney
yes,
and CEO is Mr. France and Mr. Brecker.
correct. Now,
Yes, sir.
Okay, 6 months go by, guys. We rescinded it, we've gone with what you want. 6 months down the road, something happens to Nikki, excuse me, and she gets replaced on the board. Dan says, I want to revisit resolution number 1 again. Okay? What's to stop that? That's the problem you have right there, Rick. You're setting the stage that We need to go on, we really,
I know we do.
we need to go on, and we need to start, going in the same direction here. Everybody seems to be fighting process and change. The process hasn't worked, we're a failing community. We need to get a process in place and move forward with it.
Yes.
I think code enforcement has moved forward in this village. I have moved code enforcement forward in this village. We are.
I'm saying you haven't.
I'm just trying to say. I'm agreeing with you,
I have no problem.
and I'm trying to make a point here that as much as you may think that I have had no effect on this village, I've had a very positive effect on this village. I've enforced zoning when it's never been enforced before, and it's been in place since 2001. You've had how many code enforcement officers before that? Never enforced the zoning, and that's a liable piece of law that you like to promote over here. So if you need someone to enforce it, I've been doing it. That's why I said, tell me what I've been doing wrong. I've done my job. In fact, I've gone above and beyond previous code enforcement officers.
So, in regards to that.
So what is your reason
Hold on.
for...
Come to order, do not overspeak.
Okay.
Okay. In regards to this, okay, I made the appointments. The board supported those appointments. Therefore, at that point in time, after, noon that day, you are no longer the CEO of the village, okay? So then it comes to the board meeting when the appointments get made and presented, and the board votes on that. The process is the process. The process is the law. And
But your
therefore, hold
process...
on,
Okay.
it does not require that stating that you are a terrible CEO, Frank.
Then give me the then I think it's just a professional situation to anybody. Any courtesy to show respect. Give me a valid reason why I'm not being, or actually I'm being removed. It's not that I'm being reappointed. I'm in the middle of my term.
No, you're out of your term.
Okay, well, when I signed on with the previous mayor. So it just leaves, I think, anybody in this room a little stymied as to, so far, I haven't heard any complaints towards me at this point other than you.
Never will.
Well, in regards to that, Frank, okay, you never contacted me. Hold on. Okay, one more outburst, and that's it. Okay.
Well, you've already fired me, so how much more is that it?
Would you want to be removed from the premises?
Well,
Because
I
you can't
think
be
at this
doing
point,
board
you're
meetings.
making a huge mistake and a legal one. And I
Okay,
agree that you
what
should
I'm
table this
saying
until
to you-
attorneys take a look at this.
Look, what I'm explaining to you is that I was contacted, okay? I reached out, neither you nor Ashley reached out to me that you.
When did you, if you could prove to me on your phone that you called me, prove it. Because I have a phone and you have not called me.
And you have
You have
reached
not-
out to me.
You've been in how place? How long have you been in place? How long have I had a chance to have an opportunity? You're all complaining you've only been in place a couple days. So you're not even giving me a chance to reach out to you, which I haven't been instructed to.
The discussion in regards to all this, okay? We need to move forward. Everybody's becoming.
I move we table this until the next meeting.
Holy cow.
I have correspondence from Ashley, it just says here, I have never reached out to current municipality clients when there has been a change in officials. Actually, it is the other way around.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, moving on.
All those in favor of tabling this till the next meeting?
There has to be a second.
Yes, sir. I make a motion that we table this until we can check the legality. Do I have a second?
Hold on.
Yeah.
How do you intend to check the legality then?
We'll check.
If the board wants to retain me on the special matter of researching that issue, or Ashley.
I
We're-
don't
we're
know
in
why
a very
favor
interesting
using the previous
ethical
lawyer
position.
gives the fact that
You guys are idiots.
there's already
We're squats,
something
idiots.
on that
I gotta work for these people.
That's wrong.
Kind of like the correspondence with Mr. Brecker and Mr. Frank, sorry, thank you. That was had instead of with the current code. You didn't even talk to either one of them.
You reached out to
In
Brecker, you
regards-
didn't reach out to
hold on.
me.
Everybody-
You reached out to Brecker, but
Hold
you
on,
didn't reach out to
everybody
me.
will stop. The discussion in regards to CEO and attorney has been tabled. We are not discussing this right now, okay? We've been rehashing this for a half hour, 45 minutes, and not making any progress. Okay, we are done discussing this so that we can move forward, make progress.
Okay, I'm sorry, but you
Frank
gave me this
didn't even
paper.
know.
You know
I'm
what
sorry.
you're doing, you're allowing them to do this.
Here's an issue I have with this paper here, okay? At, I don't remember the exact time, approximately 11 a.m. this morning, that email was sent from the previous lawyer to Mr. Pritchard. That is what it states there.
Really?
Yes.
So what?
What grounds are there for a previous lawyer to be in communication with the previous mayor over current situations?
Because this was a personal vendetta against the people who
Excuse
stood in Jason's way.
Excuse me.
You guys never reached out to Frank or
Okay.
Ashley.
We're done.
Never
You've stated
contacted
that multiple times.
Never
Hold on.
contacted me.
Everybody, okay?
Liar.
We are, Frank, that is enough.
You never contacted me. You said you
Frank,
did.
I never said
I'll
that
call
I
you
never
out on that.
contacted you.
You're a liar.
Frank, it's enough. All right, you stated that statement multiple times. Enough, okay? Enough's enough in regards to that. So, in regards to it, the appointments stay as is because the power that is vested within the mayor and the law that states is that only I can appoint and you guys approve, and only I terminate in regards to that. And at this point in time, I am not terminating Mr. France nor Mr. Brecker's employment with the village, especially when it could cause more harm to the village because of the contractual expenses and everything in regards to that for the law protecting them.
So you have Mr. Brecker who claims that he doesn't want my job. What kind of liability do you think that is if you disappoint him? Zero. He already claimed he doesn't want it. What kind of liability is going to bring your way if my lawyer decides to chew on this?
Frank?
What? Excuse me. I'm talking.
You can interrupt, I can too.
Excuse me. What liability are you placing? What liability are you placing the village more in?
None.
Really?
Are you-
What do you think has more of a chance? An unlawful termination or an unlawful hiring that he doesn't even want the job?
Do you
No,
understand?
hold on.
Hold on. Do you understand? Okay.
I'm trying to understand.
Your position with it, your employment with the village ended at that point in time. Okay. It's not unlawful termination. The appointments, okay, that any new mayor or any previous mayor makes, they can make that decision who to appoint. And then it is upon the board to
What are
appoint.
your grounds? What is your grounds?
Why are you not, let me ask you this.
You should have grounds
Hold
for
on,
the
Frank.
reason why a qualified New
Okay.
York State code enforcement
Frank,
officer who has done
that's
nothing
it.
wrong,
You're done?
what is your grounds for termination?
Frank, you're not listening, you don't want to listen, and you're just, I'm not gonna react that way.
Everyone in this room knows this is a bunch of crap.
Okay, so then, you know what? The discussion is done, and there's no more to be said about it.
Well, you're tabling it, and I expect your answer.
I'm over to table this till we check, till we can get.
You clearly showed your maturity. Oh, immaturity. You clearly have.
Thank you.
Unprofessional. Totally unprofessional.
Okay, so, if the board is happy with how everything is going right now with the turmoil, I know I am absolutely disgusted with this. I might have, even myself might have acted in haste, I might have acted improper in what I said, because, and you know what, and I apologize to the public and to everybody here for that, because
Me too. It's like a grumpy.
You need to all listen to one another instead of just yelling at one another. And you voted, it was a unanimous vote.
And Rick was supposed to be the oldest.
I'm sorry.
And you're supposed to be the oldest.
Oh,
Not supposed to.
no, I'm the oldest.
Hold on, I'd like to hear what Mr. Connors had to say.
The real root of the problem here is the rules of order, what you're going to follow, because there was a motion that was unanimously passed, and you can't come back. I don't know what the law, you can come back and change motions and resolutions, I understand. I don't know what that answer is. We can debate it till we're blue in the face. I think
I
there's an
think that's
answer
what
that's
we
gotta
do
be.
if we stay all night.
We just need to table this.
But it needs to be decided.
It's gotta be decided, and I don't think it can wait till the 27th, that's the
You
problem.
can't just bicker and argue. It was passed. It was passed unanimously. I heard it. I was here.
I don't want
I
to
just
sound
don't get it.
ugly.
And I think it was,
It's not a question of whether he did a job or not. It is the entitlement of this board to replace him for whatever reason. It was done last month, or last meeting. If there's a question now that it was done improperly, that's gotta be answered. That should have been answered before right now.
Thank you, you put it very well.
I don't wanna take sides.
No.
We all need to,
Let me basically suggest, put it this way, okay? What has happened is that Dan appointed two individuals which are now being contested. It was a unanimous vote to accept those resolutions. That is how it is. Now, a year from now, when this process begins again, that floor is opened up. That stage is available yet again. And if that's the case, if Dan chooses to appoint the same two individuals, and we still, I'm sorry, not we, but you, myself not included, I wasn't involved in this, I don't wish to be thought I was involved in it, have misgivings or any issues with the two individuals, you can choose not to vote to appoint them. But unfortunately, the way I see it is you have to wait that year to do so.
Or else then you could always make a resolution, and you can't have, I mean, in regards to if you have 3 against 2 or anything in such. I mean, therefore appointments are with the elected official, as it states.
And that's part of the government checks and
Imbalances. And I don't see how anybody can overrule what the law states. The law is binding. You can't change
They
that.
aren't elected officials.
Okay, but
We are.
you cannot appoint anybody. What you're wanting to do is to have, if it is, explain to me if I'm wrong in this, is that you want to end the terminate both Jay and Mr. Brecker,
Who never rendered service.
and you want to appoint,
I want to keep the incumbent, keep the previous.
okay, so you understand though, you can't do that, right?
I still do not understand that.
Only, what you can do, and all the board trustees, is that I make the appointments. The appointments aren't in effect until the board approves at that point in time. Once the board approves, they hold that position for the next elected year, or the next term, whichever it be. So for Mr. France and Mr. Brecker, it'd be for the next term. And the only person that can terminate their positions would be myself, which it states in the law. I'm not making this up, that's why I keep referring back to it, and that and I understand what you're trying to do,
I'm
but
still going to look into it.
there's nothing that can be changed in regards to it at this point in time.
We still need to look into it.
Well, with all due respect, and I don't mean to sound critical, but are you going to look into it, or will there be emails between our previous lawyer and previous mayor over it?
Yeah.
There will be emails between myself, okay?
Yet you're proud that you don't have an email.
I do.
Okay.
He does.
Okay, good. No,
Okay,
that's awesome.
well, when you guys in the previous mayor let Daniel know.
Not just Daniel, all of us.
All of us.
right,
But-
everybody should know what's going on.
I know.
And there's these factions working,
I'm sorry.
actively
It was.
working to destroy.
If this is the case, I just hope Mr.
You got
Brecker
it.
is every bit as good of a code enforcement officer as the gentleman just walked out of here.
Who's the only one we were gonna find out.
Oh,
That's the course we're,
okay. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Why? Because he was narking on me in front
All
of
right.
everybody?
Alright, that's it. We're
I'm
moving
sorry,
forward.
I have the utmost respect for you, Arvilla, but I don't like the way that you've been talking to us tonight.
I didn't especially
All right.
like the way you talked to me.
In regards to old
I haven't
business,
said anything.
alright,
Okay.
everybody, moving on.
Has this matter been tabled, or has this?
You know,
matter
it's
been
almost
disregarded?
I don't even care. I just wanna go home. I want to see my kids before
Okay,
they go
hold
to
on,
school
everybody
tomorrow
will
morning.
follow the rules and procedures, and we will remain calm, okay?
Jean has a cake up there.
You still gotta work on the budget hearing.
We still have the budget to amend, to go at. So in regards to everything then, I mean, we have, that's, actually, right now, the board has to move forward with executive session because of a complaint that was made towards an employee, so.
Do we want to take care of old business, new business, and undo so? I don't wanna have to clear these people more than once. Why don't you go on to old business first?
Well, I mean,
Is there a motion to table the reorganization
I made a
meeting?
motion that we table the reorganization meeting.
And did we have a second?
no,
Nikki, anybody?
I'll second.
I don't count. I mean, not that I'm going to, I just
We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor of tabling this till the next work session, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
no. So all that opposed,
3-2.
3-2.
Table.
Alright, so, in regards to old business, because when are we gonna get to the budget? We gotta get to the budget. Alright, so in old business, senior building rentals, senior center bids in spring of 2014 were tabled.
I don't think, we've talked about this before, I think if I paint the building, it creates conflict of interest.
Okay,
So we might have to go elsewhere to somebody who would charge a lot more than I would, which is unfortunate, so. Go ahead.
so that's something that we're gonna have to readdress
Right,
again. So, do we have to make a motion in regards to tabling that?
No.
No,
So that's just going to be tabled. Proposed zoning law amendment that was tabled,
Pending the joint planning board revisiting the zoning law last year.
About the water law, I'm sorry, I'm moving ahead of you.
alright, so we're going to then, of course, then continue to table the proposed zoning law amendment until that, correct? Is my understanding right? Okay. Alright, then proposed water law, what were you going to say, Nick?
We will have to have it ready for next meeting. Have a public hearing for it to pass in order for it to pass June 1st for the fiscal year.
Corey is still reviewing that.
So, okay, so is that to be still tabled until,
I can set a water law hearing for the next regular meeting,
Yeah.
but Corey hasn't finished reviewing it.
so how can
Well,
we,
he has a whole month. We'll set it up and we'll figure it out.
will he be ready by that time?
The whole thing's been written. I mean,
So-
essentially, it just needs to be reviewed.
Well, being ready is up to him, but it's not in our.
Well, I'm just saying it's
We have to
been
assume he
written.
will be.
It has to
It's
be
been
enforceable.
written.
The problem is it enforceable in some instances?
Right.
Well, I don't know then. We
All
want
right,
to have
so-
it ready for next.
Alright, so when does that have, I mean, that can be proposed at any point in time, correct? The water law? Alright, so that can continue to be tabled. New business, this is something that hopefully we can handle during the work session, which continues the cell phone, the computer, vehicle use.
The law, you will have to do a notice and comment period on that. So it can't be right before you have to pass it, you'll have to do at least okay. You said any time, I didn't want to let that one slip.
Oh, I meant like, it didn't have to be approved right now, and
No,
we had
yes,
to propose this right now, like it was,
Yeah, I'm
it
sorry.
had a due date or
I
anything.
apologize.
Okay. For new business in regards to cell phone policy, computer policy, vehicle use policy, New York State tax freeze, which I discussed earlier. I propose that that all be tabled and that we can discuss more of that on the 27th, correct? Okay. And then the budget hearing. Alright, so we need to go over this. Did anybody have any issues or anything for what Jean sent to us for the budget? Any changes, any of it?
There were, as I said in the one email, there were several changes,
Yeah?
as far as, and I don't know what you're doing with the auditor claims, but that is in there.
Yeah?
I increased the mayor's expense and the trustee's expense. I
Okay.
did not change the tax rate because what I did is I modified the ending balance.
Okay.
2,000.
Just
The
like you
tax
said.
rate itself remained the same, and just so everybody knows what it is, the tax rate per 1,000 is 19.45 55338, which is an increase over last year of .004. So, the budget is, being that our assessment went down, our taxable assessment went down, the board did a good job in holding the tax rate.
Okay,
Any comments, questions from the public?
I thought it was the easiest process we've been through.
anybody from the public have anything to inquire in regards to the budget?
Just, I said my piece earlier about the budget, $6,500 increase over 4 years in spending. I don't know what, you know, I'm told we weren't doing the right things, we weren't looking out for the taxpayers, the people.
Alright,
That
so,
obviously isn't the case.
alright, so, in regards to the budget, do we have to pass a motion to pass the budget, correct?
Has to be done by May 1st.
Okay, so, does anybody want to pass or make a motion to?
I make a motion that we adopt the budget for 2015-2016.
Do I have a second?
You have to close it first. I'm sorry, but I think you need to close the budget hearing first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I make a motion to close the budget hearing?
second?
Second.
Okay.
Alright, Walt, second.
Well, thank you.
Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no?
I make a motion that we adopt the budget for the Village of Cattaraugus for 2015-2016.
Alright, second?
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Alright, unanimously approved. Alright, and then the appropriations, I don't believe there's anything in regards to that. The abstract, this is the abstract right here, right? Does anybody have any questions in regards to the abstract that was sent out?
I did review the vouchers really quickly, after Nikki raised the question of the March 2nd receive date. I didn't see any in there, that doesn't mean it's not in there, I did a quick review. I did see a March 9th, and that was a bill that was paid, after the March meeting, prior to the April meeting. Do you know specifically which one that was?
Yeah, it's in my thing.
Okay.
Go with it.
The vouchers are here if you,
No, it's in my folder, in my box.
okay. I'm just concerned that we let a bill slide that long.
Okay.
Joy does vouchers to date every day when the mail comes in. That's one of the things she does every day is vouchers to date.
Alright. Okay, so, all in favor of the action, does anybody want to make a motion to pay,
I make a motion we accept the abstract.
Second.
all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Do you want to wait for Nikki?
Probably should.
Sure.
Should, yeah.
It's unanimous as far as it's concerned. She's.
It's up to you if you want to
No.
continue forward. I just wanted to bring that up.
I'm sure she, I don't want to
She's
speak for
coming.
her. She'll get it.
It was March 9th, you're correct. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Alright, and Nikki, we just,
Made a motion to accept the abstract.
correct, and then who seconded it, Tom?
Tom?
Alright, and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, unanimously approved. And then before adjournment, we need to go into executive session for a brief minute to handle a employee relation,
You have to be slightly more specific than that.
A personnel complaint.
personal complaint, yes.
Does that sound right to you, Rose? For specificity?
Sure.
Right, and I believe that's, yeah, so,
And
if
at-
Mr. France would be able to stay for that, is he able to?
If a majority of the board requests my presence, I will be.
In regards to anything, I mean, the attorney can always give advice, does anybody have?
I'm too sorry about it.
I prefer.
I'd be happy to provide you advice, but I don't, if you don't wish me present, that would be okay, I wouldn't be offended.
Okay. So, all in favor of having Mr. France to join the board in executive session, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. None, unanimously approved, okay? And then, is there anything else to enter into executive session, or did I actually do that right?
Was there, you made a motion to allow me.
Okay.
But
Do I have,
a motion to actually enter the executive
Okay.
session.
can I have a motion in regards to entering into executive session to discuss?
So moved. Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried.
On your way out, there's cake out there for Dean's